We understand your exhaustion. You're tired of trivial matters ruining your day, of that burning fury sparked by others' actions or unforeseen issues. It's that feeling of losing control, of your inner peace being a fragile pane of glass shattered by the slightest impact. You were promised happiness, yet you feel like a puppet of your own emotions, flinching and exploding at every provocation. It's draining, isn't it? Living defensively, constantly teetering on the edge of anger. But what if there was a way to sever those ties, to become impervious to such negativity? Consider the Stoics, those ancient masters of the mind who lived in times as challenging as our own. They lacked modern comforts, faced injustice, loss, and constant provocation, yet they discovered the secret to unwavering tranquility. They weren't superhuman. They were individuals who uncovered a core principle, a vital truth about the nature of control and emotion, allowing them to forge an inner stronghold that nothing could dismantle. This secret isn't about suppressing your feelings, but understanding them, stripping them of their power and consciously choosing not to let them destroy you. In this video, we'll unveil this potent Stoic secret. We won't sugarcoat it. It's a challenging truth that will force you to confront your own vulnerabilities. But if you dare to stay until the end, if you absorb every piece of advice we offer, we guarantee your relationship with anger will transform forever. Don't miss a single second, because by the end you'll have the complete blueprint to fortify your mind. If you're ready for this metamorphosis, to break free from the shackles of your rage, show it now by hitting like and subscribing to the channel. It's time to seize control. Understanding the source of others' actions. One of the most common and painful mistakes that robs you of peace is believing that what others say or do is about you, your worth, or your identity. When you're insulted, ignored, or treated with indifference, your wounded ego screams that it's a personal attack. Wake up! The actions of others reflect their own internal struggles, not yours. They act from their fears, insecurities, and unhealed wounds. If someone is impolite, it's because they're grappling with something within themselves, not because you deserve it. If they criticize you without basis, it's an echo of their own frustrations, not your flaws. When you internalize this harsh truth, you stop being an easy target. You no longer perceive every negative comment as a wound, every sour face as an offense. You begin to see them for what they are, mere manifestations of others' mental and emotional states. When someone speaks to you aggressively, instead of reacting with hostility, pause and ask yourself, is this truly about me? Most of the time, the answer is a resounding no. Their aggression stems from their own difficulties. It has nothing to do with you. Ceasing to absorb others' negativity is the surprising power that makes you immune to the world's challenges. The fragility of your ego makes you susceptible. It feels attacked when someone doesn't validate your existence or ideas, and in response, it unleashes anger to defend an illusory self-image. By comprehending that others' aggression is a projection of their inner battles, you stop being the recipient of their venom and become an observer, immune to the urge to retaliate. You realize that their behavior reveals more about them than about you, and this perspective liberates you from the obligation to feel hurt. Internal contemplation. Observing thoughts before action. Anger is a potent impulse that arises when you react without thought, guided by immediate instincts. Instead of letting this force take over, Stoicism demands that you step back and observe your thoughts before doing anything. This simple act of awareness can be the line between losing control and maintaining your inner state intact. When something bothers you, it's easy to fall into automatic reaction. Emotions flare, frustration boils, and before you know it, you've said or done something you instantly regret. However, if you take a moment to reflect before reacting, you can identify whether your anger has a genuine basis or if it's merely an impulsive, disproportionate response. By observing your thoughts, you honestly ask yourself, does this incident truly warrant so much rage? What do I gain by reacting this way? Often, that small space for reflection shows you that your reaction is exaggerated, that what bothers you holds no long-term significance. Seneca, another Stoic master, described it perfectly. Anger is like a storm. It begins slowly, but if you do not stop it, it sweeps away everything in its path. Practicing conscious observation of your thoughts is the anchor that stops you before that storm erupts and destroys you. Instead of being swept away by it, you can calmly and wisely choose how to respond. Remember that the ultimate control resides within you. Each time you take a moment to observe, you curb that destructive impulse and strengthen your ability to make rational decisions, not dictated by the emotion of the moment. It's the path to preserving your peace and preventing anger from turning you into a puppet. Your mind without discipline is a battlefield where impulsive thoughts and runaway emotions roam freely. Observing your thoughts is the act of becoming the strategist of that army, evaluating the troops, your thoughts and emotions, before launching into action, the reaction. It allows you to identify the distortions, fears, and erroneous interpretations that fuel your anger before they materialize into actions or words you later regret. It's a crucial metacognitive exercise that restores your power to choose your response, instead of being an automaton of your primal impulses, thereby building a space of freedom and serenity between the external world and your inner world. Confronting your anger, what purpose does this fury serve? Anger feels powerful. It energizes you, giving you a false sense of control. But be honest with yourself. Does it truly serve any positive purpose? The next time you feel bile rising, ask yourself a ruthless question. Will getting angry change this situation? If the answer is a resounding no, then your rage is nothing more than a useless waste of time and energy. Think of all the times you've erupted. What did you gain? Stress, regret, broken relationships. Did the situation change? Probably not. Stoicism doesn't ask you to suppress your anger, but to evaluate its usefulness. If it doesn't help, if it doesn't build, if it only destroys, why feed it? Imagine you're insulted. You can make a scene, yell and demean yourself, or you can ask, will my rage improve anything here? The answer is no. So why give power to something that only consumes you? Anger is an uncontrolled fire. But if you learn to redirect that destructive energy toward finding solutions or simply maintaining calm, you become unstoppable. Every time you feel fury gripping you, stop, breathe, and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? If the answer is no, release it like a hot stone. Your tranquility is infinitely more valuable than any momentary impulse. The stark truth is that most of your angry outbursts are just futile reactions. They wear you down, make you lose perspective, and rarely solve the original problem. In fact, they often worsen it by creating new conflicts. By questioning the true function of your anger in each situation, you're forced to confront its sterility, to recognize that you're expending precious energy on something that doesn't bring you closer to a solution, but instead plunges you deeper into frustration and internal chaos. This brutal evaluation is the first step to stripping anger of its false power and regaining control of your own response. The art of pausing, gaining control over your response. Here lies the distinction between being a slave to your emotions and being their master, the pause before reacting. Anger propels you to act without thinking, to utter regrettable words, to worsen the situation. But when you learn to halt, even for a second, you gain the power to choose. The next time something irritates you, don't react immediately. Take a deep breath, count to 10 if necessary, but above all, observe that emotion without letting it sweep you away. Ask yourself, is this truly as serious as it seems? What will happen if I explode? How will I feel afterward? That small pause provides perspective. You'll realize the situation isn't as apocalyptic as your enraged mind makes it out to be. The Stoics called it self-control. Epictetus stated it clearly. It's not events that disturb us, but how we interpret them. If someone yells at you, you can view it as a personal aggression and respond with equal hostility, or you can pause, breathe, and recognize that their problem is theirs, not yours. By stopping before reacting, you avoid falling into the trap of impulse and maintain your control. Controlling your emotions doesn't mean not feeling them. It means giving them enough space so they don't dominate you. Make pausing a habit, and you'll see how many things that used to drive you crazy now simply roll off you. Not out of indifference, but because you've chosen to respond intelligently instead of impulsively. This brief moment of suspension between stimulus and response is the crucial battlefield where the war for your mental peace is fought. It is in that pause that you break the automatic cycle of anger and consciously insert yourself into the situation. It allows you to reclaim your sovereignty, analyze the situation with a touch of objectivity, and choose a response aligned with your true self, not with the impulsive and enraged version your mind wants to project. Mastering this pause is mastering your reactivity. It's the muscle that allows you to go from being a robot programmed to explode to a human being capable of choosing calm amidst chaos. Disarming with a smile, the power of humor. Humor is one of the most underrated and powerful weapons you possess to avoid falling into the clutches of anger. Instead of clenching your fists and feeling the world attacking you, why not choose to laugh at the peculiar nature of life that insists on testing you? Stoicism reminds you that you control your reaction, and humor can be the key element that dissolves tension before it explodes. Imagine someone rudely interrupting you or making a hurtful comment. Your first reaction might be indignation, resentment, the desire to respond with hostility. But if you decide to view the situation from a lighter perspective, you might find the absurdity in it and laugh. Be careful. This isn't about minimizing your feelings, but about recognizing that not everything in life has to be so dramatic and serious. Laughter not only reduces tension in the moment, but also allows you to maintain calm and mental clarity amidst chaos. Stoicism asks you not to take adversities as personal attacks. By using humor, you transform what could be an aggression into an opportunity to demonstrate your inner strength. Laughing at yourself, even when you make mistakes, shows amazing resilience. It's a reminder that your worth doesn't depend on what others think or say, but on how you choose to respond to the situation. Using humor to disarm not only helps you maintain composure, but can also diffuse conflict before it escalates. Thus, instead of fueling conflict, you transform any challenging situation into an opportunity to show your true strength. Humor provides distance, allowing you to step out of the immediate emotionality of a situation and view it with a broader, even absurd perspective. It's a sophisticated psychological defense mechanism that protects you from taking things too seriously, including yourself and your own reactions. When you can find the irony or the ridiculous element in what makes you angry, you strip the situation of its power. You're not denying the difficulty, but you're choosing a response that strengthens rather than weakens you, demonstrating that you have control over your interpretation and your state of mind, even in the face of others' peculiarities. Emotional detachment, releasing the chains of suffering. Here lies one of the primary triggers of your anger and frustration: attachment. You cling to how you believe things should be, to the outcomes you expect, to how people should act, and life, in its infinite and unpredictable nature, rarely follows your script. When you cling too tightly to an expectation, you become incredibly vulnerable to anger, when reality presents something else. Emotional detachment doesn't mean becoming indifferent. It means understanding, deep within your being, that you cannot control everything. Stoicism teaches you to be master of your reactions, not of the events happening around you. Practicing detachment is learning to release that need for control over the uncontrollable and accepting the impermanence of all things. Imagine you plan a perfect day, everything meticulously organized, but suddenly something goes wrong. If you're attached to your ideal plan, that minimal deviation will make you explode. Instead, if you practice detachment, you'll understand that life has its own plans, and that these unforeseen events are not enemies, but simply part of the process. Detachment gives you the freedom to experience life without being swept away by every negative emotion that appears. It allows you to have a healthier relationship with expectations. It's not about expecting nothing, but about not depending on things going your way to maintain your peace. When you learn to release control over what you cannot change, you'll discover an unbreakable serenity and the ability to handle any obstacle without drowning in your own rage. Attachment is a form of self-imposed prison. It shackles you to specific outcomes and particular people, and each time reality differs from your expectation, the chain tightens and hurts you. Detachment, on the other hand, is the key to your cell. It allows you to participate fully in life, to love, to work, and to have goals, but without the compulsive need for things to be in a single way. It is the wisdom of knowing that you can desire a result, but not tie your emotional well-being to its attainment. By releasing control over the external, you regain control over your own internal state, a much more solid base and less susceptible to the fluctuations of destiny. Embracing the reality, everything passes, including your anger. When you're furious, It seems the entire world shrinks to that single challenging thing bothering you. Anger blinds you, takes your breath away, and makes you feel you need to react immediately. But here's the harsh, liberating truth. No emotion lasts forever. None. Think of all the times you've been furious about something that days later you don't even remember. What seems like the end of the world today will be an insignificant anecdote in a month. Time is the great dissolver of emotions. So why do you allow momentary anger to steal your peace? The Stoics viewed life as an unstoppable river. Nothing stops. Everything flows. Joy, sadness, and yes, even rage. Marcus Aurelius affirmed, "Life is change. If you accept it, you will find serenity." When you feel anger biting you, stop and ask yourself, will this still matter in a week and in a year? Most of the time, the answer will be a reality check. What now seems like a giant will soon be a speck of dust. Learning to see the impermanence of everything liberates you. It helps you not to cling to drama, not to let a fleeting emotion dictate your life. You are much greater than any angry outburst. Every time you feel fury clouding your vision, breathe and repeat this truth like a mantra. This too shall pass, because it always passes, because nothing is eternal except your ability to choose how to respond. The ephemeral nature of all things, from the biggest problems to your most intense emotions, is a constant reminder that clinging to anger is a losing battle against the relentless flow of time. By adopting this broad perspective, you realize that allowing a transient emotion to hijack your permanent state of mind is a bad deal. You train yourself to see the current situation not as a fixed and immutable state, but as a passing phase, a simple instant on the radar of your existence, which allows you to reduce its importance and deny it the power to disturb your long-term tranquility. Shedding ego, embracing values, true strength. Often your anger is simply the desperate cry of a wounded ego. You feel offended because you weren't treated as you believe you deserve, because you were contradicted, because you weren't taken into account. And the uncomfortable truth is that your ego is your primary enemy. It traps you, limits you, and makes you miserable. Ruthlessly ask yourself, what's more important? Proving you're right, feeding your pride, and winning a futile battle, or acting according to your values, maintaining your dignity, and gaining your inner peace? Too many people sacrifice their tranquility by reacting from pride instead of wisdom. Stoicism is clear. You don't live to please others, you live to be true to your principles. Marcus Aurelius challenges you. Do not let your mind be owned by others. If someone attacks you, ignores you, or criticizes you unjustly, is it worth lowering yourself to their level? Or is it better to maintain your stance, your integrity, and act with nobility? When faced with a situation that makes you seethe instead of exploding, ask yourself, am I about to act guided by my ego or by my values? If your value is calm, stay calm. If your principle is patience, be patient. When your actions align with your values, anger loses its grip. At the end of the day, others' opinions are carried away by the wind, but your character remains. Let your purpose in life be greater than your pride. Focus on becoming the person you truly want to be, without needing to prove anything to anyone, because when you live by your values, you discover that there is no greater victory than the peace you build within yourself. The ego makes you react, turns you into a puppet of external opinion and the need to be right. It is an inexhaustible source of internal and external conflict because it is always seeking validation and defending itself against perceived threats. In contrast, by anchoring yourself in your fundamental values, be they honesty, compassion, wisdom, justice, temperance, your actions emanate from a place of internal solidity. You no longer feel compelled to respond to every provocation because your worth does not depend on the reaction of others, but on your adherence to your own principles, a much firmer and more immutable foundation than any external recognition. Daily mental conditioning, the serenity gym. Mental fortitude doesn't appear by magic. You can't expect to remain calm in the midst of a storm if you've never trained your mind to resist. Self-control is a muscle, and if you don't exercise it, it atrophies. Think of the Stoics. They didn't wait for adversity to arrive to practice. They prepared every day. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, mentally confronted the possible challenges and obstacles of the day every morning. By foreseeing them, when they arrived, they no longer took him by surprise or caused him to explode. You can do the same. Start with the small daily battles. The slow-moving supermarket line, heavy traffic, an insensitive comment from a colleague. Each of these situations is a crucial opportunity to train yourself. Buddhists don't meditate to be calm in their temple. They meditate to remain calm in the midst of the storm. Your daily training is the bulletproof vest that will allow you to respond with serenity when the real challenge arrives. Ask yourself a powerful question. How can I use this moment to strengthen my mind? Every time you choose patience instead of impatience, every time you decide not to react with anger, you are building an impenetrable wall against fury. Anger is the symptom of an undisciplined mind. Train it today, tomorrow, and always, in every moment. Thus, when real provocation knocks on your door, you will be prepared to receive it with a disarming calm. Consider every frustrating interaction, every unexpected delay, every small annoyance of the day as a high-intensity training session for your self-control. Don't wait until you're fired from your job or face a family crisis to start practicing serenity. Those are the final exams. Daily tests, small irritations are the fundamental exercises that build the mental resilience needed to face life's hard knocks without crumbling. Embracing this mindset of constant training turns annoyances into opportunities for growth, transforming potential anger triggers into stepping stones toward an impregnable inner fortress. Choosing your circle, the contagion of calm. Emotions are surprisingly contagious. If you surround yourself with bitter, complaining, and angry people, sooner or later that negativity will rub off on you. Anger, constant frustration, and victimhood are habits that spread like a plague. Now think of the opposite. Have you noticed how some people radiate a deep calm that pacifies you just by being near them? Being with them is like breathing fresh air after a storm. They don't let impulses carry them away. They don't react aggressively, and they have that strange ability to calm others with their mere presence. These are the people you need in your life. The wise Epictetus warns you, avoid those who complain about everything, for without realizing it, you will become like them. This doesn't mean abandoning friends or family who are struggling, but establishing healthy boundaries. If someone constantly drags you into fury, you need to ask yourself if that influence is harming you more than it helps. Surround yourself with those who challenge you to be better, who inspire you with their temperance, and who teach you by example how to remain calm in the eye of the storm. If you don't find such people nearby, seek their wisdom in books, in the stories of the great Stoics, in those who knew how to turn adversity into an opportunity to grow. In the end, you become a reflection of those around you. If you want to be a true master of calm, join the masters. Your social environment is a critical factor in modulating your own emotional responses. Just as enthusiasm is contagious, so are bitterness and the tendency to anger. Repeatedly exposing yourself to people who react explosively normalizes that behavior in your own mind and makes it more likely in you. Conversely, spending time with individuals who exhibit serenity and composure teaches you, through imitation and the influence of their calm energy, to cultivate those same qualities. It is a strategic choice of investment in your own mental peace. Consciously select the influences that nourish and uplift you and minimize those that drag you toward negativity. Accepting the challenge, a personal test. Every time life throws difficulties in your face, turn it into an opportunity to show what you're made of. Instead of viewing difficult situations as insurmountable obstacles, see them as personal challenges to maintain your composure. This approach not only radically changes how you face adversity, but also empowers you by making control of your emotions, a skill you cultivate with effort and dedication. Stoicism teaches you that true strength isn't in avoiding difficulties, but in how you choose to face them. When something or someone provokes you, instead of automatically reacting with anger or frustration, make serenity your goal. Every time you feel the pressure, remember that this is your moment, your test to practice self-control. Make every angry moment an opportunity to forge unbreakable mental peace. Over time, this process will become second nature. It will be difficult at first, but the more you confront situations that would normally make you explode, the easier it will be to remain calm. It's like going to the gym. The more you exercise a muscle, the stronger it becomes. By turning it into a personal challenge, you transform every moment of tension into an opportunity to grow and strengthen your character. This practice allows you to be more aware of your emotions, recognizing them without letting them take control. It's a reminder that ultimately the only power you have over external situations is your response to them. As you make serenity your true strength, you will free yourself from the chains of anger and frustration and discover an unstoppable inner peace. Embracing adversity as a personal training ground removes the sting from difficulty. You are no longer a passive victim of circumstances, but an active warrior who uses every challenge to strengthen themselves. Each time you face something that would make you explode and choose to remain calm, you not only overcome that particular situation, but also win a crucial internal battle, reinforcing your capacity for self-control and your resilience. This testing mindset of seeing each provocation as a level to overcome transforms frustration into a source of motivation to improve, building a mental fortress that will eventually make you truly unshakable in the face of life's trials. We've reached the end of this confrontation, but this is just the beginning of your journey to tame the force of rage. You now have the tools, the Stoic principles, to dismantle the power of anger and frustration. But the key isn't in knowing it, it's in applying it every day. If these lessons have resonated with you, prepare yourself, because in the next video we'll delve even deeper, revealing another Stoic teaching that will give you even more control over your emotions and therefore over your life. Don't miss this opportunity. If this content has been valuable to you, show it by hitting like and subscribing to continue learning how to be truly unshakable. And if you know someone who easily succumbs to anger, share this video with them. It might be the help they need. Leave a comment below. Tell me what impacted you most, and most importantly, how you plan to apply this in your life.